What's up everybody, this is Cameron and welcome to the TFL show. So yes, I am back doing some more TFL stuff. There'll be quite a lot I believe in the near future, mainly just because of the hype with the movie and Robots in Disguise as well coming back very soon. It's just there's kind of a lot more to talk about than the big gap that we had within my last episode. Probably for my next video it'll probably be a live camera one because I noticed I've not done any of them for a while, but let's just talk about the main reason why you've clicked on this video in the first place, and that is Megatron. And I'm going to share you my thoughts as to why I believe, well, he's kind of come back to the franchise and hopefully he's here to stay, because, well, what's the point of killing him but then reviving him as Galvatron and then bringing him back again and then just killing him again? I think this guy is here to stay this time if this cinematic universe is going to be continuing for the many years to come. Whether or not on your mixed feelings about that, I'm just going to talk about why I think Megatron is back in the franchise. Well, it's actually pretty simple. So whether or not you believe Transformers 4 was a good movie, I personally, first time watching it for all of these movies, I pleasantly enjoyed it, but then when I watched it again, I didn't like it as much as I originally thought, and that's just because there were just a few things that I didn't quite like about it. Now, of course, that is my personal opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own, so please respect that, and let's not have anyone go at the comments, you know, let's just at least be civil there. As Transformers fans being very diverse sometimes, we can all appreciate the love for Transformers in any capacity. And I think what was really sort of a letdown for many with Transformers 4 was, well, the concept of Galvatron, the whole Transformium thing. People weren't really a big fan of it. To be honest, for me, I would have preferred if Transformers 4 was just about lockdown, you know, hunting down the Autobots in general. They didn't need to add all of this with Stanley Tucci's character. Now, although I didn't like the way Galvatron was particularly used in the film, because, well, I kind of thought he was pretty useless for out of it, but the moments when he spoke, it was really nice hearing Frank Welker's voice again for Galvatron. Of course, we know him most as Megatron, but he also did Galvatron. He took over as Leonard Nimoy in the G1 series after the movie from series 3 to 4, so it was great hearing him again. And of course, I pretty much expect him to be voicing Megatron also, and that's all well and good, but the concept of Galvatron in the film was kind of, well, it's sort of wasted. Of course, especially at the end of Transformers 4, he said we'll meet again, Prime, for He's Reborn. Now, we actually don't really know if Galvatron or Megatron are going to remain separate, whether or not Galvatron follows Lockdown's ship, which I believed it is in the film, which I believe is what we're seeing in the trailers, whether he upgrades himself and then he's reverted back to Megatron in some kind. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the plot, so I'm just going on what, you know, my theories here. If that's how he does it, because if there's going to be a Galvatron and Megatron, well, we've got to kind of explain that, because people consider obviously Galvatron being a new creation, but at the same time he's still Megatron. It's just sort of, you know, it's just a slapstick name really. And well, for me, the reason why I felt like they brought Megatron back is, well, mainly, let's just look at an example of Batman and Joker. They are really inseparable because they are that yin and yang, and that's with Optimus Prime and Megatron. They are that yin and yang with each other, always facing off. They are the main two that you recognize from both Autobots and Decepticons. They're the names you're going to come up with immediately, and you know the point I'm getting across. And I think Hasbro kind of really didn't like the idea generally of Megatron, well, being, I mean, they must have been alright with the idea of Megatron being killed, considering that, well, we all thought really that Dark of the Moon was the last film, so it seemed reasonably appropriate that, you know, obviously Megatron would be the final Decepticon kill. But the thing was, the franchise kept on going, and they kind of had to backtrack a little bit and kind of find a way to make it work. We're going to do Megatron again, and then they were going, oh no, let's try something different, let's take it in this direction. But then people just got thrown off by the old reboot stylized of the Transformers 4 movies that, well, the characters, especially the Decepticons, were pretty useless, not memorable whatsoever, except from Lockdown, and that's just because, well, he was a genuine sort of pure Decepticon. The rest of them had this makeshift ability that people just hated, absolutely did not like the idea, because it ruins the concept of these Transformers actually transforming. And I think that's why they're kind of going backtrack and actually going to bring back Megatron, mainly just because, you know, it does well for toys as well, but of course it's obviously a big character within the entire franchise itself. And, you know, it's kind of good as well that Frank Welker will be doing the voice, because obviously, if you don't know already, Hugo Weaving, who did the voice of Megatron for Transformers 1 to 3, didn't care about Megatron at all. He completely did it for the money, as he said, and he wasn't really a fan of Michael Bay because they never met or something like that. So that's a shame though, because Hugo Weaving is actually one of my favourite Megatron voices. It's just a shame that he didn't actually care that much about the character. Despite whether or not how you feel about the Chancellor's movies, you can either understand or completely, not respect that. But for me, I understand why he, probably didn't care much about Megatron, mainly just because he never thought the concept was interesting or anything like that. But hopefully the new Megatron that we're getting is actually a bit more character in depth, because Megatron in the last 3 films was just really, he was great in the second movie, like they were really sort of wanting to go somewhere with him. And I actually remember at the end of Transformers 2, I was so excited for Megatron to return, because obviously that cliffhanger, really, this isn't over, and I was like, oh, what's going to happen now? And well, he just kind of is completely scrapped and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, I kind of wish we had more of Megatron. Part of me kind of wishes he was the main baddie in the film, because he hasn't really since the first film. I feel like he's not really going to be the main baddie in this film, because I feel like that's going to be all focused on Optimus Prime, which I'm kind of okay with. But if they do obviously want to continue this franchise after the Bumblebee solo movie, hopefully they can do something there with Megatron and expand his character a little bit, instead of just being just angry all the time. It doesn't help as well when he hasn't got Starscream or Soundwave or Shockwave, the most memorable Decepticons, on his side. But yeah, they've brought back Megatron, so who knows the possibility of Starscream creeping up somewhere. It's not like it hasn't been done before, so I guess we'll just have to wait in anticipation. Of course, he's not going to be in this film, but obviously in the future we can only hope. But yeah, I just feel like for a story concept wise, they really kind of saw the mistake they made with Galvatron, because, well, of course Galvatron and Optimus have first before, but it's always going to be Megatron and Optimus. And I feel like, especially with them wanting to go back to original lore within the film, like they said, that they do want to explore the backstory of Optimus Prime and Megatron. Of course, it wasn't really explained that well in the films already. They just sort of said, oh, they're brothers, but it's like, oh, we want to see what they were like back on Cybertron, and that's what we're going to do in this film. So hopefully that will be really well explored and really give these characters some character, you know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a short episode. I just kind of did want to share my general thoughts, because I saw some new snaps of the toy Megatron in his render form, and I was like, I just got really in the mood for wanting to talk about him. And in case if anyone didn't know on why they switching the leap between Galvatron and Megatron, why they're going back, I just kind of wanted to give my take on why I think they really wanted to go back. It's just because of a general story essence, and obviously for marketing, for toys and everything, you want that pack of Optimus Prime and Megatron. But for story and concept wise, I just couldn't see where they would take Galvatron at all, unless if like in the future Hot Rod becomes a leader, and then it sort of makes sense for Galvatron. But I feel like as soon as they bring Megatron back, whether or not Galvatron is a separate character, Galvatron's going to stay dead. The concept is going to stay dead. It's never going to come back until, God, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with the concept of Galvatron in the future Transformers stuff. But either way, Megatron is back, and I feel like he's going to be here to stay permanently. No way are they going to kill him off in the 5th film. If they did, it'd just be a waste and a completely total mistake, considering the hype of Megatron returning is strong for many. So there we have it there, guys. That's pretty much what I want to round off on saying. Of course, I did say I'll be doing a Robots in Disguise TFRs episode as well. I am currently working on that, because I want to be more specific, and I obviously want it to be live camera as well. I guess we'll just have to see how my week goes, because I am pretty busy nowadays. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got to say. This has been Cameron. I hope you've enjoyed. Share me your comments below, and until the next video, goodbye.